Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the concept is periodization. Periodization, meaning that you plan your training in different cycles, and there's three different ones. The biggest one is called macro cycle. Just like we have macronutrients like fat, proteins, and carbohydrates. So by this we mean a season, or maybe like a calendar year. Right? So you're overall planning for an entire season or for a year. Right? So the biggest size of the plan. Then within that macro cycle, we have some mesocycles. Mesocycle is a block of training where you focus on a specific goal. So it might be, in your case, for example, if you're competing, you might have like a 6-week camp, right? Where the goal would be to get to a target weight for weigh-in or to have a certain performance. In case, let's say you're doing a weightlifting competition and you need to lift a certain amount of weight. In terms of here, when we work with clients, we typically focus this into different qualities. So remember the various qualities, or if we're talking about fitness qualities or motor skills, we talk about endurance, for example, muscular endurance, cardiovascular, so heart and blood vessels. We talk about strength. We talk about flexibility. We talk about agility. And that's, by the way, it's a couple of different things. Speed. Some people include balance. We will do that separately. Balance training. Agility, also known as SAQ. Speed, agility, and quickness. Some people lump it together as one. What do we have? Endurance, cardiovascular, strength, flexibility, agility, balance, maybe explosiveness, right? So that means that for 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, you might focus on endurance. And the next program, you focus on strength. The next program, you focus on flexibility. Of course, dependent on what you want to focus on the entire season, right? So in your case, if you want to compete in an international competition, you know when that's going to take place, then you know which of the qualities you want to develop for that period, right? And then we have one more, the smallest, is a micro cycle. That is like 1 week, usually 1 week of training. And then I believe, if I remember correctly, what you did for the previous competition is you have low intensity days, medium intensity days, and high intensity days. This is a good way to categorize it. Another way to categorize it is if you have a personal training client and wants to focus on overall fitness, to focus on different qualities on different parts of the week. So if somebody comes in and just have general fitness, we're not going to train strength necessarily every day. You could, but then you need to divide the microcycle in arms, legs, right? If you focus on overall health, general health, then maybe you will want to focus on endurance one day, flexibility the other day, okay? And then if you want to put that into into a graph where you talk about your strength and your fitness, and then over time, if this is the macro cycle, so the entire year, the entire season, you cannot always just keep increasing and increasing and increasing the difficulty. Exactly, yeah. So we want to go up a little bit for 4 to 6 weeks. Then we want to deload, make sure that you rest and recover well, and then you can go up again. And then we have a little bit of rest again, and then we have a up again. By having those moments where you deload, so usually that's 4 to 6 weeks in, you make sure that you minimize the chance of any injuries. That's first and foremost. Tendons, ligaments can keep up, and you have an ability to retest, see, okay, how much I worked on my endurance, how much did it actually improve? I worked on my explosiveness, how much did it actually improve? And what is the next thing to work on? Also, this works for qualities, but it also works very well for techniques. So if you're for jiu-jitsu, you could use this concept and apply it to saying, okay, for this coming 4 weeks, I'm going to work on my stand-up. And then I'm going to spend 4 weeks focus on guard passing. And then, of course, within that block, you can say, micro-wise, I'm going to drill this particular move on low intensity days, and I'm going to do hard sparring where I focus on those techniques or whatever, right? So this applies to any sport. And if once you figure that out, to bring it back to the client we discussed previously, if you don't know and you just keep working on the same goal all the time, more and more difficult, eventually you're going to get hurt. Not if, when. So that's important concept. Periodization. Questions?